Hello, welcome to TOYSREVIL. I'm going to do a card flip with a bit of commentary, narration for myself for this series of cards, which actually I wanted to do last night before. It's something I really wanted to do for a while. But yeah, I've decided to do it now on a Friday between I have other tasks planned for the rest of the day. So basically what I'll do is just flip through the cards and let everybody have a look at what these cards are about. So yeah, I'll just jump straight into it. First card, condition ain't great though. This is if folks from the 90s would recognize this, hopefully, as Ash, Joe Quesada's character. This series is called Comic Greats 98. Comic Greats 98 is like, wow, less than 30 years ago. But yeah, it's a great series. I feel that I wanted to share about comics, independent comics from back in 1998, for Pete's sakes, man. Printed by Comics Images and Dynamic. I think there will be multiple titles here, so we'll just go through all of them. Like I mentioned as well, this is Ash, and right up here as well is from Joe Quesada's. A lot of these I have in comic form, but not necessarily all. And a lot of it is sentimental. I'll still keep them. And this is the first time I'm flipping through all this after a long while. So I'll make a little guess also. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm happy. I think this is Painkiller Jane. Also Quesada? Painkiller Jane? Yes, Painkiller Jane. Is it part of Ash? It was Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. I can't remember if these two are part of the same comic. Cannot remember. Probably. And Nocturnals. Dan Brereton. Yes, Nocturnals. I mean, I know this is a spare set that I'm selling, because if this was the only set, I won't sell it, because I am a huge fan of Dan Brereton's art. Huge fan that I don't literally talk about. And I would keep this set solely for his art. But it's obvious I have a spare set. Nocturnals. Wonderful, huh? This Martha Washington. Dave Gibbons. Art by and story cover by. Nice. Ooh, Desperados. Let's see if I'm correct. Yes, Desperados. John Cassaday. I know him primarily from Warren Ellis' Planetary Comics. I can't remember this comic though. Hey, sorry bro, but the art is something that has stuck with me. I think I know, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to make a wrong guess. Leave it to chance. Paul Smith. Very distinctive art. I remember Paul Smith's art mostly from X-Men comics back in the day. Glorious black and white indie comics. Wow. Love at first sight. Sorry bro, unfamiliar. This, of course, is Walt Simonson. I think it's Starjammers. Starjammers with Malibu. Star Slammers, no Jammers, Star Slammers. Or Starjammers is X-Men. Ha! Gosh, Walter Simonson. Nice, Dan Brereton. Check out his art, painted art. Nocturnals again. Polychrome. The name, Painkiller Jane again. The art is undeniable. Undeniable Joe Quesada. No, this is Rick Leonardi. Ooh, nice. I was wrong, bro. I was wrong. Egg in my face. Oh, not very familiar. Not very familiar at all. Phaser. Phaser from who? Gosh, I mean, I'm not going to read the entirety of it. You just have a aesthetic glance. Art is familiar. Cannot remember the artist. Mike Zack. Oh gosh, Michael Zack. I mean, remember him from tons from Marvel Comics. Punisher, maybe? Yeah, Punisher, Captain America. So just so folks get a clear understanding of this series, Comic Greats 98 are essentially all independent comics by the creators that we are hopefully familiar with from their works in Marvel or DC or other independent comics like Image. Desperados. This feels like a page reprint because of the text lah. Desperados. Oh my gosh. Darkness from Top Cow. The character is undeniable. It is. Joe Quesada again. Oh my gosh. Painkiller Jane, Darkness. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, it's a crossover. Crossover between Top Cow's Darkness and Caving Painkiller Jane. Pretty. Cyberforce. The conditioning grade. Cyberforce, Top Cow. Dave Finch. Oof. Glorious. It writes here, after the Painkiller Jane Darkness crossover event, Top Cow crossovered with Cyberforce again, with Ascension. Comic series Ascension. Wow. I mean, I love it when crossovers happen, especially with different comic book companies and brands. Not in-house, but across different brands. I think it's always more fun that way. In-house, we always take it, I always take it as inevitability. Because just now I saw it, Leave It a Chance, Paul Smith. I don't remember reading this though. Don't remember reading this at all. After Washington, I remember reading it. I don't remember much of the story. I have the series, mini-series, I think. Nice. Pseudo-provocative cover. Heh. Quesada? I mean, I'm intrigued with independent art like this, but I've not had a chance to pick this comic up at all. Kevin McCarthy. Splatterman. Wow, Amanda Connor. Nice. Wow. Okay. Nocturnals. Wow, I really cannot let go of this set though. The condition is pretty bad. Or rather, when I do, I'll put a statement that it is a scuffled print and much cheaper for anybody that's interested to keep the art lah. Wow. I mean, I go through my cards to see if they are worthy to be sold and not sell any damaged cards. And I'm glad I'm looking at this now. Phaser. Well, definitely not familiar with this series. But I appreciate the painted art though. Star Slammers. Again, I think it's original IP. Walt Simonson. Not I think. I know it is. Familiar art. I mean, let me see. Yeah, I cannot remember the artist, but the smile, the facial expression is very familiar. Paul Smith, oh gosh. Desperados again. Yeah, really look like a page reprints. It's interesting. Cinder and Smoke, I think, is Ash. Yeah, from the Ash Cinder and Smoke series. A story. Cinder and Smoke story. More Painkiller Jane. Was this ever made into a TV series? I mean, I would have loved seeing it then. I mean, the context and the character made for a perfect movie, if not a series, back in the 90s lah. We're not denying, or early 2000s. Now, may be a bit tricky, yeah? Who knows, but who knows? Mike Zack again. Damned. Nocturnals. I mean, in my mind, right? And I've not actively done so, but I wanted to keep series just purely for Dan Bratton's art. I blogged about him having a trading card series years ago on TOYSREVIL, but I never, back then I couldn't afford anything lah. Well, not that I can afford anything now, but I did not end up supporting the project myself, sad to say. Otherwise, I literally would have a purely Dan Bratton art on trading cards. Sucks to be me though. Pause with. Right, yay! Star Slammers. Walt Simonson lah. Cannot deny. Ash. Which side is up? Gosh, which side? Maybe it is. I have no idea. I have no idea which side is up. Like this? I'm an idiot lah, huh? Martha Washington. It's interesting because they are not like in a set of 9 cards. Because normally in a sleeve, trading card sleeve, there's 9 sleeves. So a lot of times, folks might do a puzzle card, a puzzle subset, where it's 9 cards, made out of 9 cards. So when you slot it in the sleeves, it's 9 cards that form a picture lah. Or a double full sleeve left right, so sequentially it doesn't end up being on the next page. It's all on the same page. If I do sleeve on 9 card sleeve, if that's the word for it. So it's interesting that the cards here are all mixed. Like they're probably, I haven't counted, I'm just guessing, 9 cards for each set per page. No, 9 individual cards per page, but each page has different stories. I'm not making sense though. I hope I'm making sense. Is this Panamotti or Kisarada? Still is. Leave it to chance. Yeah, after this video, I'll try to sort out what I meant by the 9 images per sleeve. Looks like Mike Allred's character. Kevin McCarthy. Ooh. I hope, yeah, they're not all stars because they can see the flakes. Now, obviously, I can't sell this set already lah. That's a pity. Cinder and Smoke. That's a pity. And no, in case you're asking, I'm not going to give this away lah. Don't be silly. Painkiller Jane. I mean, if you ask nicely, but nah, I don't think so. This is nice. Is this Mike Zacks? Looks Amanda Connors. Splatterman. Star Slammers. Very distinctive Walt Simonson art. I think it's distinctive. So I'm taking a break from talking. So just look at art. Ooh, love this. Dan Bratton. Dr. Horror. Doc Horror. Classic lah. I mean, love his vintage styled character design and costumes. Painted work. I assume it's analog painted and not computer painted. I've never checked. A lot of art I've embraced in the past, I've never gone fully deep in to check how it is, because I know I might end up trying to imitate. This was my early, when I started out drawing for fun. Of course, I was imitating artists. But slowly as I got on, but maybe it's just myself. Sorry, before I sidetrack, this is a familiar image from Desperados. Sean Cassidy. Anyway, before I sidetrack, no, I already sidetracked, coming back. So I knew I imitated artists in their strokes and how they draw. Maybe not necessarily illustration, storytelling skills, but more illustration, very pin-art. But I very quickly got frustrated because no matter how I imitated, I could not achieve 100% the look of what I wanted. And the impatient me back then and now, then rather not copy and just search for my own style, be it I was successful or not. I think success is always important, but maybe I've not pushed hard enough to achieve a success which I hoped for, which I had hoped for in the past. But I'm glad I sort of found my own style. If there's any comfort, it is comfort to me that even if my style is not as successful as all the artists I adore and enjoyed, so be it. But it's something of my own. I don't know if it's narcissism or self-preservation, lots of big words to use, but in the end, yeah, I'm just happy with what I have. But then again, I deviated from my dream path of when I started out in like 80s, 90s. I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. Sincerely so. But I did not pursue that path as robustly as I could have. And I had all the opportunities to, not that the opportunities were given to me, but I think back then, when I say back then, ability to do your own stuff is only held back by finance, I feel. Versus now, years on, where finance could be mitigated, but being able to stand out in the sea of creatives and practitioners is always a trick. It's the same thing I say for toys as well. Even though I sidetrack up, I'll do a quick sidetrack. Blogged about toys for 20 years and collected toys more than 20 years. It's even myself with a limited budget, right? Who do I collect? I collect who I like. I collect designs that I like. But even then, throughout the years, I was, how should I put it? I was more picky of what I collected, which meant I did not collect an entire series when I had the opportunity to. And a lot of times, until now, years later, that I kick myself for not collecting the entire series, because either they're still worth if I were to sell the entire series, or I would have the entire series, because what I liked then might change with what I like now. But as I mentioned in another post on Instagram, and it's something that has become stronger in my mind is, I mean, at least for the past few years, I don't buy toys to sell. I buy toys to keep. Yeah, that's primarily the reasons for toys in my life. For trading cards, it's a different matter. I started buying individual packs and started collecting cards that I like, but they weren't exactly complete sets. But as I got more passionate is a nice word to say, addicted to trading cards, right? I started to buy more packs. Then I started to really felt the need to complete a set, because I recognized through the years I am also a completist, which I'm trying to resist right now, especially also for toys. I can't complete the entire set, then I just buy what I like. But for cards, back in the day when I started out, I was a completist. Oh wait, take a break. La Femme Nikita, love the visual reference here. I think it's Painkiller as well. If anybody knows La Femme Nikita, we are friends. Luc Besson. Anyway, coming back. So back then, I'm getting distracted again. Dan Breton. Nocturnals. Very Halloweenish. Halloween girl, but very Halloweenesque series in the visual aesthetics. Having said that, coming back to trading cards, back then I bought loose cards, I mentioned. Then I started to collect sets, and I wanted to complete a set. Then, and I swore to myself I never get a complete box. Why would I get a complete box? Like, why all these foolish people? Then I started to get complete boxes. So I got complete boxes so I can hope to achieve a complete set, so I didn't buy loose packets to get. And through the years, there have been I know brands, or rather brands I've collected. Comic Images, one of the best, because I have multiple sets in an entire box. which which facilitates me keeping a set. All of the cards I sell, I have a set for myself. Then what's the point of collecting cards? But the extra sets, I can sell them. That's a theory, right? Exact. Sorry, I'm distracted because it's very indie art. Remind me of David Leham's Silver Bullets. I imagine this is a black and white comic. It would have worked for me rather than color. But then that's my personal taste. Anyway, coming back. So then it facilitated me having extra cards to sell. It's the same as the logic of, it's the same as wanting to own a comic book shop. Yeah, back then. Or wanting to own a comic book shop so I can have first dibs at the comics I wanted. Then I didn't need to pay back issue prices. But then it's another way of thinking. Then I have tons of back stock I need to sell to sustain lah. You know, instead of being able to be on the dot on delivery day to pick up the comics, or make myself in with the comic book shops to have that first dibs opportunity, which unfortunately introvert like myself has never been able to work out such a way lah. I just haven't been able to do it all these years. So standard now, lone wolf is a nice way to say I'm an outsider, and I guess I still am. Never get myself into tribes, and not as embraced. Not a complaint, but a reality. Jokisada art. So then that leaves me on the fringes of everything else, attempting to be a part of something, but at the same time, not vested enough to be a part of something. Does it make sense? Desperados. I mean, cannot deny Sean Cassidy art. Cassidy's art. Or Simonson. Nearing the end. And I realize I am rambling more than I should about my personal life. But then that's what all these lives are for, I feel. Speaking to the void. Because that's the introvert I am. If that makes any sense. This is a spectacular image. I mean, look at the colors. The chosen colors, the palette. In my mind, and I've realized this, but I've not verbalized it before. I would have loved to make a project with the color palette of Dan Bratton's. You can see from everybody's art here, be it if it's a digitally painted or hand painted, that yes, it's 4 colors. That's the beauty of 4-color comics. It's like the colors are indefinite, but the style of drawing and the style of coloring, and depending on who they work with, becomes iconic to themselves. And it's all part and package, I guess, to a lot of film projects and TV projects that I've done in the past, where the visual identity is strong in the first place for folks to identify, be it you have, let's say, a different cinematographer or different colorist, but in a certain aspect, the visual language is strong from a certain, possibly, director. I would like to say that. It might not be fair to everyone, because comics, or rather film in a way, is a collaborative result, or a result of collaboration, as well comics. And I guess for these series, the comic book greats, where all these are creator-owned original IPs, characters by the creators themselves, instead of like Marvel and DC, where the house style, I wouldn't say house style, the character themselves become the strong proponent of what folks remember versus the art of the creators themselves, of the characters that they own and draw. I mean, I have seen Dan Bratton illustrate other characters as well, but I know it's Dan Bratton's, and his style will just overshadow the characters, even though there is a sense of recognition of the characters. But at the same time, nothing right or wrong. It's just an observation. And for me to enjoy, let's say, for example, this series becomes iconic character and his style to the character, to the creators. Like the style of Paul Smith. I mean, I can recognize now, I remember, but you can recognize for a certain look
Let me check again, I'll be fine, bro. Yes, Paul Smith. This could easily be a character from the Hellfire Club. Sebastian Shaw, maybe, from the X-Men comics. You get what I mean? No offense to him at all, because his style dictates how the interpretation of the character is. Or even this could be Ra's al Ghul from Batman comics. I'm sorry to bring this up, but in terms of style and character design, yeah, it's iconic. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't shoot myself in the foot too much. And this is a checklist card for out of like 72 comics. You can recognize this series. It's a thicker card than usual. A thicker card, and it feels thicker than, let's say, for example, let me bring another series out, which I wanted to talk about next time, not this video. It's the Creators Alternate Universe. It's also 72 cards, but it's so much thinner card set, and it becomes lesser. Oh, this is pretty cool. I really can't wait to talk about this, but maybe not today. I'm tiring myself out. But yeah, this is it. Sorry if I'm not looking at comments, if there are any comments, because the phone is on the side this way, and I wanted to shoot in landscape to be able to fully see the cards and the designs. And having said that, yeah, I will end my live for Comic Greats 98 trading card set, and I thank you all for tuning in. Thank you.